Alrighty, everybody, welcome back to another live stream. Since we are about 17 minutes late, we are going to get started. The time is 10:17 a.m. It is Tuesday, June 7th, 2022. Just a recap, we have some accessibility for people with disabilities. We have captions on the bottom, and if you're watching this replay a few days after, we have auto-generated captions on YouTube, and that's pretty much it. Anyways, we will get started with this presentation. So, shout out to True LGA Foamer on Instagram for this image of the M100 HEV bus. Welcome, you can say hello in the live chat. Please keep in mind that I will not be reading the live chat during this presentation, so if you do say something, I will have to see it later. Here are the chapters we will go over. Shout out to Noah Bus 5189 for this Q50 limited image. Currently there is no thumbnail on this video or live stream. I will put up one later soon. So in chapter 1, we're going to talk about the all-day frequent network, bus stop spacing, enhanced connectivity, expanded bus priority, and improved user experience. Chapter 2, we will talk about corridors in the Bronx. Chapter 3 is potential improvements to study bus priority corridors, and Chapter 4 we will go through the routes. Keep in mind that this is the Bronx bus local redesign. It's not the express, so express routes will not change by the end of this month. So, I'm going to give you guys a look on the Bronx bus 2022 July map. It's all finished and ready for you. You may notice that there are some changes like the BX25, the BX125, no, the M125, the M100, the Q50 Limited with its rush hour only section, the BX30 with its new extension, what else? That's pretty much what I can think of. Just want to keep you in mind that the BX6 SBS will not change or take effect at the end of this month. It will take place in 2023 with Omni. Express routes do not change at the end of this month, so they will not be discussed in today's meeting, so you won't hear a mention of that. So, let's talk about Chapter 1. So, we're talking in Bronx, we're talking about an all-day frequent network, so it's usually about 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. at the a.m. hours, and the 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. peak periods during the afternoon. So, we may also put off-peak hours, so during the midday and evening, so usually from like 9 p.m. to 4 p.m. No, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. So we usually have that as well. So as you can see, you can pause if you want. So I'm just going to go through a few. This is the existing frequencies on the left, and then the proposed frequencies on the right. So they may increase, sometimes they may decrease, but this is usually from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Peak direction in that following. So here is the all-day frequent service. So as you can see, the BX4, I believe, yeah, the BX4A has additional service, so 5:30 a.m. to 12 a.m. and 5:30 a.m. to 1 a.m. So that's your existing service. BX11, full 24/7 service. The BX18 also has some additional service. You may notice also some increase in frequencies in a few routes. As you can probably tell, the BX26 has also decreased all frequencies, but this is because of the BX25 when they combine together, so that's why it's like that. Also, by the way, if you guys have your qualities at like 144, make sure you turn it to 480, because that's the maximum, which is pretty bad. So, sadly. So BX41A select bus, you may notice that during the proposed area there's 8 or better usually, and BX29 has 24/7 service added because of City Island residents after hearing from them. So here are the proposed frequencies for the weekday. Now, as you can probably tell, this is most routes. So they're kind of like Brooklyn Express routes now. What they do is they start early mornings and then they end during the afternoon, not during the night, if they're going towards Manhattan. So, like, for example, in Brooklyn, their express routes, they start going to Manhattan at like 4 a.m. in the morning, and then they end. The last trip that goes from Brooklyn to Manhattan is usually around 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. Usually in Bronx and Queens. I'm not going to mention Queens because Queens similar has this with the Bronx. How the Bronx will propose is they're just going to copy Brooklyn, and how Bronx usually is right now is if they're going to Manhattan, they're going to start early morning, so around 5 a.m., and then they're going to end at like 10 p.m., which is pretty late. So that's why it's like that. And then for up to the Bronx, they're going to start around the afternoon, so usually around 10 a.m. or like that's for the Brooklyn though. Brooklyn is usually around 10 a.m., 11 a.m., 12 p.m. That's where they start. Bronx, the first trip to the Bronx is usually around 3 p.m. as you can see right here. So that's why the frequency has lowered down, as you can tell. So as you can see, the BX-M4 is going to be peak periods only on Grand Concourse, just so you know that. But it's not going to change at the end of this month, though, just so you know. So we talk about bus stop spacing. So basically, how this is going to work is the proposal is to speed up the bus by removing bus stops. So it's a longer walk, but in return, there will be more faster service. If you look at the diagram on the left, the guy is going to be walking to the bus stop that is 5 minutes away, but in return, he will get faster bus service. And if you look at the close stop spacing, the guy only needs to walk 2 minutes, but in return, he gets slower service because the bus has to stop at like every other block. So that's what they're doing for every every bus redesign. So as you can see, Queens is doing this, like Brooklyn is starting this, I think, somewhere around, I don't know, like somewhere at the end of this year, I think, I don't know. They're not going to start it yet, though. So, as you can see, the dark blue sections is where we're adding more service, and then the gray areas, we're not really accessing them anymore. And light green is currently where we access buses, so it's travel within 45 minutes by bus from Central Bronx. So we're adding more service to the new access areas, like for example, the BX31, which goes to Woodlawn, the M100, which serves Washington Heights. We have a lot more service to Washington Heights now. Actually, no, it's just the same thing. But anyway, so we move on. So we're expanding more bus priorities, so we have a bunch of high-ranking corridors, which include Pelham Parkway, Fordham Road, and West 207th Street, which is Eastchester Avenue, to Broadway, which is the corridor that the BX12 and the BX12 SBS uses. Pelham Bay Park Station area, which is near, Pelham Bay. Washington Bridge and 181st Street, University Avenue to Broadway, which is the George Washington, not the George Washington Bridge, but the Washington Bridge, which connects Bronx to Manhattan. University Avenue, I think I skipped one of them, Kingsbridge Road to Cross Bronx Expressway, so there you have that. E.L. Grant Highway, East 149th Street, University Avenue, Tremont Avenue, which connects Sedgwick Avenue to Boston Road, and then all the way down to Throgs Neck. East Gun Hill Road, Bainbridge Avenue to Bartow Avenue. So there's going to be corridors. How this is going to work is, I know it says 2020, but, it's 2022. So, obviously, we have started Omni on all of our buses, so you can tap and go instead of the MetroCard, which will retire next year. So, let's move on to the next part. So, this is the regular bus service, I believe. Yeah, this is the updated map with the BX6 SBS part actually working. So, Central Bronx. So, we're looking at the southern east realignment with the BX40 and BX42 as they do in Throgs Neck. However, we are changing them, which, into East 180th Street instead of staying on Tremont Avenue, which we'll talk about next, in part of the BX11, BX18, BX35, BX36, BX40, and BX42 realignment segments. I think I missed one of them, but I tried remembering them. So Norwood, we realigned the BX30 to the Pelham Parkway station that serves the 2 and 5 trains, as there is no New York City Transit bus route that goes down Boston Road south of East Gun Hill Road, only B-Line buses, so we decided to serve those. Also, with the BX25, a new routing for Co-op City and Norwood, and the BX38 also, I think, never changed, and then BX28 has removed sections of that part. So Co-op City, here's just so you know, we'll move on in a bit. So Soundview, obviously the BX6 SBS will be traveling via the BX5 route on Story Avenue and to the shopping center at Turnbull and Pugsley. I still remember that, I don't know why. And then there's no realignment to the BX5 or BX6. The BX6 SBS is going to run on Bruckner Boulevard, Bronx River Avenue, and Story Avenue. So there's no new changes from the release plan to right now to the final plan. Meaning, so what they did in the draft plan, which was implement the M125 and the M100 shortage, I don't know why the captions say M103, I didn't say that, M100. Basically what they did is they shortened the M100. So there's no change in between what they did. They did this first in the draft plan, and they never changed it. That's what they meant by that, for anybody wondering. And the express service will not change. We'll move on to the next part. So, new bus lanes. Here are some potential improvements to study. So we have some new bus lanes on many of our routes and many roads. For example, here you can show the M23 select bus service. Also, there's the ABLE system, which is the automatic bus lane enforcement system, which is available on the M15, M14, and B44 buses. And how this works is if somebody is blocking the bus lane, it will take a picture. I know it sounds weird because I think it was going to be on every single bus route, but it's on the M14, M15, and B44 routes, so you'll get a ticket or something, I don't know. And then your first warning, I believe, first. And there's so basically how that works is there's the Department of Transportation that runs the street cameras, and then the buses run the bus cameras mounted on the front of the bus. So we also have upgraded bus lanes. I believe Madison Avenue has 2 bus lanes on there. So we have protected bus lanes, which is so that other vehicles other than the buses cannot use the lane. Transit and freight priority street. So basically, they're like the 181st Street busway or the Flushing Main Street. Actually, no, I can't use Flushing Main Street because people don't actually follow the rules. So like the 181st Street busway or the Jamaica busway, where it's only buses and I believe freight not trains, freight trucks only. Bus borders, so bus bulbs are permanent sidewalk extensions to pole at bus stops to provide more service and space for waiting passengers. Bus queue jump lane and transit priority signals, so with these, dedicated bus signals phases are another way to use traffic signals to give buses priority through an intersection. Honestly, I've never seen one of these before. Curb management, the New York City Department of Transportation does that, so we don't worry about that much. Pedestrian safety under Vision Zero, so there you have that. And then to improve the safety of the streets, and bus priority projects often provide such opportunities, and bus stop accessibility term restrictions. There is a corridor. So first we have the Pelham Parkway, Fordham Road, and East 7th Street. And then we have the Pelham Bay Park Station area. Alright, so we have the 181st Street busway, which stretches for the BX3, BX11, BX13, BX35, and BX36. East 149th Street, which is there. EL Grant Highway, University Avenue, Tremont Avenue, East 167th Street, and East 168th Street. Story Avenue, East Gun Hill Road, and here it is. the routing changes. The best part of the video. You guys have been waiting. BX1 is the Grand Concourse Express. I don't know why, but I call it the Express. Because it's a limited route. So anyways, let's get started. The schedule does not change, and the routing does not change. BX2 schedule does not change, routing does not change. It's straight, direct, and connects to several important destinations and transfer points. So BX3 schedule does not change, routing does not change because the route is completely straight and direct and connects to several important transfer points. The BX4 routing does not change. The frequencies will be increasing as well to make up for the loss of the BX4A, and I'll explain why in a bit. The BX4A will have a decreased area. It will end at It will end at the Simpson Street subway station of the 2 and 5, and service between the hub and Simpson Street is not running. It will be replaced by the proposed BX4. Basically, you could just take the 2 or 5 trains between that. And also, it's a really good service because nobody uses the BX4. Only people use the BX4A, so. Gladstone Square, there's a lot of frequencies decreased, and this is not going to happen until 2023, I believe. So, frequencies are slightly decreased for the relocate the resources to the new BX6 SBS extension along Story Avenue, as they come together. So, the BX6 will not change, but the frequencies will only increase between Hunts Point Avenue subway station and the Hunts Point Market only. So the VX6 SBS the schedule does not change, however, it will extend to a new section to provide crosstown service with the VX5, and it will be relocated to the shopping mall, or whatever mall you want to call it, at Pugsley and Turnbull Avenues. So the new BX6 SBS will not serve BXS SBS. So the BX6, just to be clear, it will remain the same. BX7 routing does not change. The route connects to several important destinations and transfer points. It is the most reliable route in the Bronx system, actually. I did not know that, honestly. The schedule does not change. So BX8, just keep in mind that in the draft plan, we shortened the BX8 and the BX24 in an attempt to streamline service in Throg's Neck. This will not be implemented, and the BX8 will not change at all. So the BX9 does not change at all. Schedule does not change, all that. BX10 routing does not change, schedule does not change. So the BX11 is going to be part of the BX11, BX18, BX35, BX36, BX40, and BX42 routes to streamline these routes. So how this will work is a section in Ogden and Plimpton Avenues will be discontinued and will be replaced by the proposed BX18. And this route also runs 24/7 now. So in the Ogden Avenue and Plimpton Avenues, there will be no service there. It will replace by the BX18 as it extends on Shakespeare Avenue. So there you have it right there. And also it will be extended on Boston Road, East 174th Street to replace BX36 service to Parkchester. And that Jennings Street area will be replaced by the BX35. So BX12 routing will not change. Honestly, I can't answer your question if the routing still goes to Orchard Beach, University Heights, Inwood, and Bay Plaza, but I did hear on a service alert that the BX12 goes to Orchard Beach starting June 26th, fully until the summer ends. So I think the BX12 will go to Orchard Beach. Doesn't say it here, but I think it will. So the BX12 SBS will not change as it's near a corridor with Sedgwick and not Sedgwick, Fordham and Pelham Parkway. So BX13 will not change at all. Its frequency will slightly change to increase to 8 minutes or better all day during the noon. So on weekdays. So the BX18, there you go. The weekend frequencies will not change. The BX15, as you can probably tell, will be split. Will be split into 2 new routes to improve reliability and bus speeds throughout the length of the route. So the BX15 Local Unlimited will operate between the hub and Fordham Plaza at all times, as it does currently on weekends. The new M125 route will replace service between 125th Street and 12th Avenue and the hub. So the trends will be brought down. So as you can probably tell, the frequencies will be brought down because it will streamline with the BX 125. The BX16 does not change. The BX17 does not change because it provides connections to several important subway transfer points. The BX18 will be extended, by the way, along 168th Street and Shakespeare Avenue to replace missing BX11 sections. It's also part of the BX11, BX18, BX35, BX36, BX40, and BX42 streamline project. So it will have better access to the East 170th Street, 4 and BD stations, with a new direct connection between the High Bridge and Morris Heights neighborhoods. The route will operate as a circular, both running clockwise and counterclockwise, and service has been increased for this route. In the AM and noon and all hours, you may see that their frequencies have been increased, and frequencies has been increased. And the schedules will be, and the ridership will be closely monitored. So BX19 does not change. It connects important destinations and transfer points. BX20 does not change. It still remains as a part-time only, so there you have it. Westchester Square and Port Morris, it does not change at all. The BX22 still runs between Castle Hill and Bedford Park, so. The BX23 have increased frequencies because of the loss of Q50 limited service during the day and during the night as well. The BX24 will have a decrease in area for the schedule, or not schedule, the routing. So for the routing, a section in Spencer Drive and Griswold Drive and Elm Avenue, service will be decreased there. Because of reduction in turns, and the draft plan to shorten the BX8 and replace it with the BX24 will not be implemented. The BX8 will only go to its existing routing, and the BX24 will experience a minor change with the Country Club only. So the BX25 is a new route, as I said. It actually has been brought back to life. It was in back in 2010 before it was cut by budget cuts by the MTA. So it will have combined services. That's why the BX26, as you can see right here, has decreased. So it's not reduced. It's just rather split with the BX25. It's just split. It's not decreased. Like a bus is never going to come like in 17 minutes or something. So the BX27 routing will not change or schedule. So a section in Bainbridge Avenue, in Marshallou Parkway and Pull Avenue. In Marshallou Parkway and Pull Avenue, there will be no service there to reduce the amount of turns, and also the route will operate on Bedford Park Boulevard and Bainbridge Avenue. The draft plan to propose to terminate the route at Ash Loop in the eastbound direction will not be implemented and will keep going to Co-op City to provide more routings and more other transfer. The BX29 will be shortened to Pelham Bay Park 6 station and will no longer go to Co-op City Bay Plaza. However, service will be implemented as 24 hours as requested by City Island residents. The BX30 routing will change. Instead of duplicating the BX28 and 38, and we'll go down south, down Boston Road to Pelham Parkway Station that serves the 2 and 5 with southern service and faster service. Today, as you can see down this routing, no New York City Transit bus route goes down Boston Road south of East Gun Hill Road. With this, we don't have a duplication, and there's really no point on Gun Hill Road. So BX31 routing does not change. Schedule does not change either. BX32 does not change either. BX33 not either. So this was actually, I think this was also in the final plan. It wasn't in the draft plan because I probably should have noticed it. So here's how this is going to work. So instead of, I guess, traffic, advantage of Webster Avenue's existing bus lanes and road width, because as you know, Webster Avenue has the BX41 selected bus service, so they'll take advantage of Webster Avenue's bus lanes for faster service. So we'll go down East 204th Street and Webster Avenue to end at Fordham Plaza instead of ending at Valentine Avenue and Fordham Road. So the BX35, instead of serving a Gladstone Square area, it will end at West Farms Road and Jennings Street to provide the loss of the BX11. The BX36 will change a little bit, so service on East 180th Street and Webster Avenue will be served by the BX40 and BX42. Service on East 174th Street will be served by the BX11, and it will go down East Tremont Avenue, for the loss of the BX40 and BX42, which we'll talk about in a bit. The BX38 does not change at all, except frequencies have been increased in the AM, PM, and evening hours. So, I don't know why there were exclamation points there, honestly. The BX39 routing does not change, the schedule does not change either. So for the BX40, as you see, the BX11, BX35, BX36, and BX40, and BX42 streamlining. So how this is going to work is the BX40 and BX42 will go on East 180th Street following the BX36 routing. So the BX41 routing will not change. There's no change. The BX41 SBS will not change. It's straight and direct. The BX42, as part of the BX11, BX35, BX36, BX40, and BX42 Streamline project, the BX42 will follow the BX40 routing on East 180th Street to make up for the loss of the BX36. The BX46 routing does not change. Key connections to the BX, I don't know why they said BX6 SBS. I guess the BX6 is not going to change. The M100. Now, the reason why the M100 is in this is because the M100 comes out of a Bronx depot, even though Kingsbridge Bus Depot is in Manhattan, which makes no sense at all. So service along 125th Street will be discontinued. The new southbound terminal will be at Amsterdam Avenue and West 125th Street. Congestion on 125th Street is the primary cause of reliability issues throughout the route, and service on the 125th Street is duplicated by the M60 Select bus service, which you can go to LaGuardia Airport, which is really reliable, the M100, and the new M125 routes. So by ending early, we can decrease that congestion and have more reliability on these routes. So the M125 is the new route that will replace the southern portion of the BX15 that runs along 125th Street in Manhattan to the hub in Williamsburg via Willis Avenue. The new routing will preserve an important interborough connection and improve reliability for both routes created from the existing B15. The Q50 Limited comes out of a Bronx depot, so it's affected in the Bronx local bus redesign. So how this will work is service between Pelham Bay Park and Flushing Main Street Station will be will be normal. However, between Co-op City and Pelham Bay Park, service will only operate during peak day hours. So how this will work is, I believe, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. I could be wrong. I didn't write it down, so I don't remember. And there is the end of this presentation. I mean, if you guys are Bronx residents, let me know how this is gonna go, alright? Let me know on the first day. Is it good? Is it bad? Let me know. I want your comments. I'm gonna read them. I'm gonna do all that. Thanks so much for joining. I know this was actually kind of shorter than I thought. I thought it was gonna be like an hour. But thank you so much for joining us. I will see you guys next time then. Bye! Wait, do I